Identifying potentially defective Siemens ground fault circuit interrupter outlets can be accomplished using several methods. Firstly, inspect the outlet for a red dot. Newer, non-defective Siemens ground fault circuit interrupter outlets typically have a small, red dot printed on the face of the device, usually located near the test button. The presence of this red dot is an indicator that the outlet is likely a newer, non-defective model. Secondly, examine the model number and date code. Specific model numbers have been associated with the potential defect. These suspect model numbers include Q220A, Q220AF, Q220AFW, Q240A, Q240AF, and Q240AFW. Locate the date code on the back of the outlet. The suspect outlets are known to have date codes falling within the range of 201,549 to 201,826, as well as 201,901 to 202,022. If the outlet has one of these model numbers and a date code within these ranges, it should be further inspected. Thirdly, conduct a visual inspection of the outlet. Defective outlets may exhibit physical signs of overheating. These signs can include discoloration of the plastic housing, which may appear as a change in color or a brownish tint. Warping or melting of the faceplate is another visual indicator of potential overheating. Carefully examine the faceplate for any signs of distortion or melting. Visible burn marks on the outlet's terminals can also indicate a problem. Inspect the terminals for any black or charred areas. It is important to note that not all outlets meeting the criteria outlined above are necessarily defective. These identification methods are intended as a preliminary screening process. If there is any suspicion that an outlet may be faulty, it is strongly recommended to contact a qualified electrician for testing and replacement. A qualified electrician has the expertise and equipment to properly assess the outlet's condition and ensure electrical safety. Always prioritize safety when dealing with electrical components. If any concerns arise regarding the functionality or condition of a ground fault circuit interrupter outlet, it is crucial to seek professional assistance to prevent potential hazards. Remember the red dot indicator, checking the model number and date code, and visual inspection for signs of overheating are valuable steps in identifying potentially defective Siemens ground fault circuit interrupter outlets, but professional evaluation is essential for confirming the outlet's condition and ensuring safety. Understanding the function of a ground fault circuit interrupter is crucial for electrical safety. A ground fault circuit interrupter is a safety device designed to protect individuals from electrical shock. It constantly monitors the electrical current flowing through a circuit. If it detects any leakage current, even a very small amount, it quickly trips the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing potential harm. Ground fault circuit interrupters are commonly installed in areas where there is a high risk of contact with water, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. The proper functioning of a ground fault circuit interrupter is essential for ensuring electrical safety. If a ground fault circuit interrupter fails to trip when a ground fault occurs, it can expose individuals to dangerous electrical currents. This is why it is important to regularly test ground fault circuit interrupters to verify that they are working correctly. The test button on a ground fault circuit interrupter simulates a ground fault condition, causing the device to trip and cut off the power. Testing ground fault circuit interrupters should be performed at least once a month to ensure they are functioning as intended. In addition to regular testing, it is important to be aware of the signs of a malfunctioning ground fault circuit interrupter. These signs can include the outlet failing to trip when the test button is pressed, the outlet tripping frequently for no apparent reason, or the outlet showing signs of physical damage or overheating. If any of these signs are present, it is important to have the outlet inspected and replaced by a qualified electrician. Furthermore, it is important to use ground fault circuit interrupter outlets correctly. Avoid overloading the circuit by plugging in too many devices at once. Do not use extension cords or adapters with ground fault circuit interrupter outlets, as these can interfere with their proper functioning. If a ground fault circuit interrupter outlet trips frequently, it may indicate a problem with the circuit or the appliances connected to it. In such cases, it is important to identify and address the underlying cause of the tripping. Contact a qualified electrician to inspect the circuit and appliances to determine the source of the problem. Regular maintenance and inspection of electrical systems are essential for ensuring safety and preventing electrical hazards. Ground fault circuit interrupters are an important part of this system, providing protection against electrical shock. By understanding how ground fault circuit interrupters work, regularly testing them, and being aware of the signs of malfunction, individuals can help ensure their safety and the safety of others. When dealing with electrical systems, it is always best to err on the side of caution. If there are any doubts or concerns, it is always recommended to consult a qualified electrician. Do not attempt to repair or replace electrical components unless properly trained and qualified to do so. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents. Knowledge of electrical safety practices is essential for everyone, regardless of their level of experience with electrical systems. By educating ourselves and others about electrical hazards and how to prevent them, we can create a safer environment for ourselves and our communities. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that should be treated with respect. By following safety guidelines and seeking professional assistance when needed, we can minimize the risks associated with electricity and ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. The information provided is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult a qualified electrician for any electrical work or concerns. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect against electrical shock caused by ground faults. A ground fault occurs when electrical current flows outside of its intended path, typically through a person's body to the ground. Ground fault circuit interrupters detect these ground faults and quickly trip the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing potential harm. The sensitivity of ground fault circuit interrupters is typically set to 5 mA. This means that they will trip when they detect a leakage current of 5 mA or more. This level of sensitivity is sufficient to protect against serious electrical shock, while also minimizing nuisance tripping caused by minor leakage currents. Ground fault circuit interrupters are required by electrical codes in many locations for outlets located in areas where there is a high risk of contact with water. These areas include bathrooms, kitchens, outdoor locations, and near swimming pools. The installation of ground fault circuit interrupters in these areas is a crucial safety measure to protect against electrical shock. Ground fault circuit interrupters are available in several different types, including receptacle type, circuit breaker type, and portable type. Receptacle type ground fault circuit interrupters are installed in place of standard electrical outlets. Circuit breaker type ground fault circuit interrupters are installed in the electrical panel and protect the entire circuit. Portable type ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to be plugged into a standard outlet and provide temporary ground fault protection. When choosing a ground fault circuit interrupter, it is important to select one that is appropriate for the specific application. Consider the location where the ground fault circuit interrupter will be installed, the type of load that will be connected to it, and the level of protection that is required. It is also important to ensure that the ground fault circuit interrupter is properly installed and tested. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing a ground fault circuit interrupter. After installation, test the ground fault circuit interrupter to verify that it is functioning correctly. The test button should cause the ground fault circuit interrupter to trip and cut off the power. If the ground fault circuit interrupter does not trip when the test button is pressed, it may be defective and should be replaced. Regular testing of ground fault circuit interrupters is essential to ensure that they are functioning properly. Test ground fault circuit interrupters at least once a month to verify that they are providing adequate protection. If a ground fault circuit interrupter trips frequently for no apparent reason, it may indicate a problem with the circuit or the appliances connected to it. In such cases, it is important to identify and address the underlying cause of the tripping. Contact a qualified electrician to inspect the circuit and appliances to determine the source of the problem. Do not attempt to bypass or disable a ground fault circuit interrupter. Ground fault circuit interrupters are safety devices designed to protect against electrical shock. Bypassing or disabling them can expose individuals to dangerous electrical currents. If a ground fault circuit interrupter is causing problems, contact a qualified electrician to troubleshoot the issue. In summary, ground fault circuit interrupters are essential safety devices that protect against electrical shock caused by ground faults. They are required by electrical codes in many locations and should be regularly tested to ensure that they are functioning properly. When choosing and installing a ground fault circuit interrupter, it is important to select one that is appropriate for the specific application and to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Do not attempt to bypass or disable a ground fault circuit interrupter, as this can expose individuals to dangerous electrical currents. Always consult a qualified electrician for any electrical work or concerns. Firstly, remember the red dot indicator. Secondly, check the model number and date code. Thirdly, visual inspection for signs of overheating. And lastly, professional evaluation is essential for confirming the outlet's condition and ensuring safety.